right, what is going on, everyone? Welcome to Small Town Cinema. And as always, I'm your host, Johnny.
I'm Randy.
All right, so Fallen come out in 1998.
Whew.
And it is categorized as horror crime. It is 2 hours and 4 minutes long, and I felt every minute of it.
That means he's not going to like it.
And the film is rated R. IMDb scored it a 7 out of a 10. And Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 41%.
That matches up. IMDb's good rating, and Rotten Tomatoes is obviously going to be a bad one.
Right.
That's just how it works,
Yeah.
man. The lower the Rotten Tomato score, the better the movie. I've just come to terms with that fact. They gave Get Out, 98%? Dumb.
All right, so this film was directed by Gregory Hoblet. I couldn't remember his name. Ain't that sad? Like, I just looked at it, and I couldn't even remember it that quick. I lost it.
No, I know you. It's not a surprise.
The film was written by Nicholas Kazan. The budget for this film was $46 million.
Million.
$1
That's a lot.
And the box office, it made $25.2 million.
You make a lot.
I know.
Was weird.
That's a shame.
That's a lot of money, though, to make a movie. When you think about the ones that we've read before, they were like $10 million, and it took $15 million, and it made hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder what came out around the same time.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to look that up.
Makes me curious.
So the plot of this film is pretty unique. It's about a detective, Hobbs,
Mm-hmm.
and at the beginning of the film, he is at the execution of, what's the guy's name's Edgar?
Yeah, Edgar Reese. He's a serial killer.
And before he actually goes and gets the gas chamber, he meets with Hobbs, and Edgar meet face to face, and they're talking. And I knew something was up right when he went to shake his hand and how he acted. But he starts speaking, I'm going to say in tongues, like it's a different language.
Yeah.
And pretty much after he gets executed, you can kind of see something coming out of his body, like from the camera view. And we find out that it's the demon spirit.
Yeah.
And it goes into the next person. So pretty much this film is about Hobbs trying to find out who is the killer, what is going on. Every victim is laid out the same way in the bathtub with a number written on their chest. And what it is the demon that was possessing Edgar. His spirit manifests every time a body is killed. He goes out of that body, and he has only a certain, like, what is it, one breath?
So he can survive for one full breath. I think it's 500 cubic feet.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, what made it so weird is you never know, because once the screen goes yellow tinted,
mm-hmm.
that's how you know you're getting a view of the spirit's viewpoint.
Right.
Yeah.
But throughout the film, it's just constantly setting up Hobbs to be the killer and sabotaging him. And, he's on the police force. He's a detective. And his good buddy, which is played by John Goodman, his name is Jonesy. Right?
Yep.
And it's all about Hobbs trying to figure out who is it next, who's going to be next. And, I mean, it's a really unique twist and aspect to it as far as what do you do. There's even a scene where he kills a person being possessed, and he shoots him in the chest, and as soon as he shoots him and he dies, the spirit gets out and goes right to somebody else, and he pretty much tells him, he goes, did you think it was going to be that easy?
What makes it so weird is at the right around the beginning of it, after Reese is dead, what makes it really weird and for Detective Hobbs is the fact that he starts getting these phone calls in the middle of the night, the same way he got when Reese was still alive and he was still out killing.
Yeah.
So the automatic assumption that they went with was he had a partner the whole time.
Yeah.
And that's the assumption for the first little bit of the movie, is they're trying to figure out who his partner is. And they're trying to figure out why he's leaving these clues. And there was one clue at the beginning that Reese told him is, why is there a space between Lyons and Spakowski? That was a riddle. Couldn't figure out why. Well, you find out later in the movie, after one of the possessed people is killed, they find on the wall the same riddle. Lyons, question, Spakowski.
Right.
So then he does some digging in it, and they come to find out Spakowski was actually the name of a detective.
Yes, which is we meet a character named Greta, which Hobbs goes and talks to her, and it was her father.
Her father, Robert. It was either Robert or Richard Milano, and his name was supposed to be on this big plaque of different detectives and everything, and his name was actually taken off of the board for whatever reason that we don't know at the time. But his name is actually the name in between a Detective Lyons and a Detective Spakowski.
Right.
So that's where everything starts gelling together.
Right. And Hobbs goes and talks to Greta, and you can tell that she knows more than what she's leading. And she keeps telling him, you know, leave it alone.
Yeah.
Quit digging into it further and further. And he eventually finds out that this has happened to her father. And her father went out to her old childhood home where they lived out in the woods by a lake and committed suicide. And he did that for a purpose. Well, then later on in the film, Hobbs does the exact same thing, spoiler alert, but he figured it out.
Yeah.
And through the whole movie, he doesn't smoke. Hobbs does not smoke. He gave it up. And once the demon comes out there and he is possessed, his buddy and partner Jonesy, he shoots Jonesy, which Hobbs does, and Hobbs sits down and lights a cigarette, and Jonesy goes, I thought you quit smoking. You don't smoke. And he goes, I don't. And then he says, but you know what's funny? The cigarette has poison in it.
Yeah, he was like, I don't smoke anymore. You know why? Because they'll kill you, especially cigarettes laced with poison.
Yes.
So what he did was in the movie, his brother was actually killed by somebody possessed by the spirit. And he left a vial of the poison. He used a syringe through the whole movie. It was a syringe with poison in it. And he left some poison in the syringe. Well, he took the syringe when he ran from the cops, talking about Hobbs.
Yes.
And he ended up injecting that poison into the cigarette.
Yes.
So his whole plan was he left his son with Greta, went out to the cabin where her dad killed himself. And his whole plan was to lure the spirit out there. This is miles and miles and miles away from any living person.
Right.
And his whole plan was to go up there, take out whoever was possessed by Azazel, which is the spirit's name, and then smoke the cigarette himself so he has nowhere to go.
Yeah.
He can only, for one breath, 500 cubic feet is how far he can exist.
Yes.
Outside of a living host.
And it did work at the time, and that's what he tells Jonesy, which is possessed at the time. And you could tell it just killed him because he didn't want to kill his partner, but for it to finally end, he shoots Jonesy in the head, and as the spirit goes up, the spirit enters Hobbs, but he's already been poisoned. So he's fighting, he's trying to get the car keys because I guess he was going to like drive to town and get some help.
At least get close to people.
And then finally, when Hobbs drops at the end, and you think he is dying. Once he's dead, you see the spirit come out again, and you're like, oh.
Well, there's something at the beginning of the movie that happens.
Yes, they actually kind of.
They give you an idea of what's to come.
Yes, and all of a sudden the spirit is out, the demon's out. You think the plan worked, but then all of a sudden you see a cat. And then he enters the cat.
Yeah. So at the beginning of the movie, you hear Denzel Washington doing a voiceover.
Through the whole movie, actually.
Yeah, through the whole movie. But at the beginning of the movie, you hear the voiceover, and he was like, let me tell you about the time I almost died. And then you get all the way to the end of it. You see Hobbs is possessed by the spirit. He's struggling for breathing, and then Hobbs is dead. You think Hobbs won. Azazel has nowhere to go. And then you see a cat pop up, and then you hear, oh, you forgot. I was going to tell you about the time I almost died.
Yeah.
And then the cat just takes off.
And then he's like, what do you say? See you soon?
See you later. Or see you soon or something like that. Yeah.
So, but that was pretty much the main gist of the movie. And like I said, I think it's really unique. I had never heard of this movie. And, man, it just, honestly, I thought the writing was pretty good in the film. But before we get into that, I think it's time to go ahead and give our grade. So, do you want to go first? You want me to go first?
I'm going to let you go first, being it's the first time you've ever seen it.
Okay. I don't recommend the film. No, I'm just messing with you. I actually enjoyed this film quite a bit. I did feel the 2 hours.
Oh yeah.
Now, here's the thing with that. I did feel the 2 hours and 4 minutes, but it kept me engaged in the story.
A lot like Longlegs did.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I do think you could have shaved maybe about 10, 15 minutes off, maybe make it an hour and 50 or hour and 45 minutes long.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go an hour and a half because I thought they told the story good, but there was just some aspects to it sometimes that I was like, but anyway, off that, I think the writing was really good in this film. The cast, I think the cast was phenomenal because he didn't tell me who was all in the cast except for James Gandolfini and
John Goodman.
Yeah. No, you didn't even tell me John Goodman was in it. I think you just told me that Denzel Washington and James Gandolfini was in it.
Oh.
So when John Goodman got on screen, I was like, oh, snaps. Because, it's John Goodman.
Connor.
Yeah. And then other actors would start popping up. Like, I can't remember his name. It was the captain.
Donald Sutherland.
Yeah, and I know him from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And I was like, oh, man, this is pretty cool. So
it even had the other cop from Mike and Molly in it.
Yes, his buddy Carl.
Yeah, Carl.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't think there was a weak actor in the entire movie. I really feel like Denzel Washington, his character Hobbs, and his brother really played off well with each other. You could tell that they were two loving brothers. They never really went into it, as you told me, that his brother, I don't know if he was mentally challenged a little bit, but they did kind of seemed that way.
Nothing ever was brought up anywhere near close to talking about it, but just by the way he acted, it just seemed like he was delayed in some aspect of it, Not that he had some kind of severe mental illness or anything like that. It just seemed like he was delayed and he had to have somebody to help take care of him, not necessarily take care of him fully.
Well, because he apparently was married, had a kid, and his wife left him. But I definitely recommend the film. And this is not a knock to the film at all, but it had that 1990s look and feel, and which I'm a 90s kid, man.
They even pulled out old music.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed it. That's one thing that I will say. The music, the score to this film felt horrifying. Like, I was like, okay, this is more of a detective show when it first started, but the horror music in it, actually, I was like, dadgum, that would go good in a slasher film or something. They did really well. But with that being said, I give it a thumbs up. I do recommend the film. I'm actually thinking about buying it on Vudu, add it to my collection, because I really enjoyed it.
Success.
And man, I'm going to give this film a B+. I really think that there was nothing really weak about the film. Honestly, man, and like none of the camera shots stuck out to me. It was just like a plain Jane camera, or a film. But yeah, I think the performances really is what caught my eye and helped it out.
Yeah, talking about the camera, the only things that really stand out to me in the camera shots is when it goes to the spirit's viewpoint, and then it does the yellow, almost
greenish.
What is it called? Sepia, when you do like the filter on your pictures or something like that. And then it kind of does it distorted, all this kind of stuff. So then that's their way of saying, hey, this is now what the spirit sees.
Right.
So for me, this is one of my favorite actors is Denzel Washington, because I've seen him in so many different movies with different roles. And I have never watched a movie with Denzel Washington that I didn't like. And I've never seen Gladiator 2, and I've heard bad things. But
is he in Gladiator 2?
In Gladiator 2, yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is one of my top Denzel movies. The way they build the story, I honestly thought you were going to give it a lower rating just because the slow pace of it. But like you said, it's developing the story the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are scenes where they could have come out. There was a scene where he was constantly, it's probably a 3 or 4 or 5 minute scene where he was constantly switching just to show Hobbs what he could do. He was going back and forth in between different bodies. They probably could have cut that down. The scene where the guy got Greta cornered and he starts chasing her, and he does the same thing. I mean, they probably could have cut that down some. I mean, there were spots where I feel like, yeah, it probably could have been like an hour and 45-ish minutes,
Right.
something like that. But the whole 2 hours, they build the story. And what I like about it is they don't start it off and make you wonder where it's going to go.
Yeah.
They started off at like a high point of the whole premise of the movie with being the killer.
Right.
And they let you know, hey, this is important. And then you see, they even give you the camera shot right after that.
Yeah.
And make you wonder, like, okay, what the heck's going on here? So, like you said, cast is phenomenal. I love every single one of the main actors and the actress in it, which, you know, she's Matilda. She's actually Miss Honey from Matilda. So, and she played in Bicentennial Man, too.
She was also in 13 Ghosts.
She was in 13, yeah, see? Think about it. So, the music stands out because they had some good songs pop up that were really popular. And like you said, some of the shots had the music behind it, and it had a horror feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I'm giving it a thumbs up. It's one of my top Denzel Washington movies. And I am also going to give it a B+.
Copycat. Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, I had to let you go first.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so like, what about the movie? Obviously, it's a different premise, but was there anything about the movie that stuck out to you the most?
Honestly, it was the how are you going to end this?
Yeah.
Because in my mind, when he shot the guy that was possessed and the spirit come out and went straight to the woman,
yeah,
I was like, well, that didn't work.
Well, you're not winning this at all.
Yeah, and I had almost a different ending thought out when he went to the cabin. I thought he was going to light a cigarette and say, "You're right, I don't smoke," and flick it in the cabin,
and everything blow up,
and the cabin was going to catch on fire. Maybe that was where the spirit dwelled, or that's what was something in there, because I don't think they ever described it. So if you've seen the film, let me and Randy know. I mean, what you may know. But he goes into the kitchen in the cabin. And he sees something on the floor, and he wipes it off, and he kind of moves his feet around. They never told really what that was.
It's a chalk outline from her dad.
Okay, so see
that the cabin that he went to is the cabin that her dad went to and killed himself.
Yeah.
So he notices through the window when he goes there the first time. He notices something on the floor. He goes in the kitchen, kind of moves it back, and it's actually just a small portion of a chalk outline.
Well, like I said, I knew he'd seen something there, so automatically I thought, okay, that's where they summon like the demon.
Yeah.
And then when he sees the name down in the basement, so I was like, okay. So when, like I said, when he sits down and lights a cigarette and he says, "I'm going to do something that her father tried to do."
Yeah.
I was like, he's going to light up, blow it out, say something, boom.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen. But I like the concept because I never noticed he grabbed the vial when he seen this.
No, you never noticed it?
I did not notice it. I thought he covered it up because he covered his brother up, but I never saw him go back and get it.
Yeah, when he turned, there was a spot where he turned around, he's getting ready to leave. He turns around and looked at his brother, and all he does is lean. And then he leaves and goes back. They do a pan shot down to his brother laying in the bed, and that vial was laying right by his elbow, and it was gone.
Well, I knew I didn't see it, but I thought it was
covered up.
Yeah, because he covered his brother's body up to make it look like he was sleeping, and So
this is one of those movies. If you watch it a second time, you'll notice little things that lead you just like, okay, that makes sense.
Oh yeah,
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Well, and I agree with you on Denzel Washington. He's a phenomenal actor, and I haven't seen tons and tons, but like everything I've seen him in, Training Day, John Q, Fences, and that what it's called, Fences. Yep. Now this, Remember the Titans.
Now I got to get you to watch Bone Collector.
Never seen that. And then the Equalizer movies. I have all three of them and still have not watched any of them, so I don't even know what they're about.
I've never watched the third one, so whenever you get to watch 1 or 2, just let me know and we'll knock them
this
all
dude
out.
Makes me wait on everything. I've never seen Gladiator, and he's always like, "Hey, when you decide to watch it."
I told him, let me know. I mean, because sometimes you watch a movie that somebody else has seen. If you got a question, it's good to have somebody that's watched the movie.
Right.
And I've seen Gladiator 250,743 times.
It can't be that good.
Oh man, it's so good.
But
I love it.
no, like I said, that's what really stuck out to me was okay, now I'm trying to figure it out on how you're going to do this. So
what I like about it is it makes you feel like Hobbs in the movie. You're like, all right, so how do we take care of this?
Mm-hmm.
And you're having to think about it the whole time while you're watching the movie. You're like,
yeah.
Okay, I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that. But yeah.
Yeah, and I really almost thought that it was going to have to, when the finale came, I thought that John Goodman's character, Jonesy, was going to be the one possessed. And it was just certain little things he did, but then he actually starts tearing up when he's holding the gun at Hobbs. And then when Hobbs says, oh, okay, and he puts the gun down, then he sign a relief. I was like,
maybe it's not Jonesy.
Maybe it's not him. And then, like I said, they played it very well.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like I said, I enjoyed the film. And the first thing I thought of after it went off is I was like, I'm going to have to get on Fandango or Voodoo. That's what I call it, but it's Fandango now. And I'm like, I'm going to have to check it out when it's $5 and add it to my collection. But
yeah, I like it.
And it is a film that, like, yes, it's 2 hours and 4 minutes long, but I feel like Long Legs. I like Long Legs. I don't remember how long it was. Get it? Anyway.
Like hour 46, maybe?
Yeah. That is a movie that I could see myself watching once a year or something like that because I really love, like Silence of the Lambs and stuff. I love that detective hunt.
Yeah.
Well, this one falls right into that category.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I could see myself watching this movie once a year or something and this is also one of the movies that I'm going to steal a line from you. Oh, you ain't seen it? Hey, let's pop it in. Yeah.
So, you know what I like? Not necessarily about this movie in general, but around this movie.
What's that?
One of the best things about this movie is it was made when?
98.
How open-ended was the end of this movie?
How open-ended?
They left it open for part 2.
Mm-hmm.
They never made a part 2.
You don't always need a sequel.
Exactly. This movie ended exactly how it was supposed to end.
And little rant real quick.
Uh-oh.
You agree with me on this.
Oh, okay.
That's what's changed Hollywood.
Oh, yeah.
You look at the 90s and look at now. They were not scared to leave something open and not make a sequel.
And technically, the bad guy won in this one.
And that's what I was shocked about. I'm going to throw it out there. Halloween H2O. Perfect ending. Jamie Lee Curtis finally gets her revenge, cuts Michael's head off. Perfect ending. 2000 rolls around. Well, let's do Resurrection. No, they had balls in H2O to kill Michael that way.
Yeah.
This film, as soon as it went off, I was going to ask you, did they ever do a sequel? And I'm glad they didn't because, like I said, not everything is meant to. Long Legs. I enjoyed Long Legs. You said you thought it was pretty good. Mm-hmm. But I could see, because it was such a success, I could see them being like,
Yeah.
Let's see now, how can we... No, leave it alone.
Just let it be.
Right.
The only thing about this movie that I wish we had more of Edgar Reese's character played by Elias, the actor that played Edgar Reese.
Casey Jones from the Ninja Turtle movie.
I wish he was in it more than just the beginning.
Yeah, he's a pretty good actor.
Yeah, he played that role of being possessed by Azazel. He played it really well.
Yeah, yeah.
And you get, like, throughout the movie, you get flashbacks, not of him, but of his voice.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, he's still in the movie later on, but just him and the way he acted with the character.
Yeah.
The only other person that ended up being possessed that did as good a job was John Goodman.
Oh, yeah.
At the very end of it.
Yeah, definitely. I was kind of glad to. No, I didn't want his character to die, but I was glad to see him because John Goodman can play a great bad guy.
Yeah. It reminded me, I told him of the salesman that he played on Oh Brother Where Art Thou.
Yeah.
It's all about the money, boys.
Yeah. He's another amazing actor as well.
For sure.
But do you got anything else you want to share, man?
I don't guess so.
As always, remember, we review the movies.
You don't have to.